Good morning, everyone. I'm Sana Carpelati, lifechangingenergytherapies.com. Today the focus of the topic today is accessing ancestral strength. I thought about doing this mainly because of, our current circumstances. However, it's something that I've been doing for about 20, 25 years in my work. And it's a facilitation to connect with ancestors or, folks who have passed. And so the important thing to realize is that our ancestors are a source of strength and can create a sense of belonging for us to not only our immediate family, but also the generations behind us. If you think about what our family members have lived through, they have lived through anything and everything. Sometimes even the unthinkable: wars, famine, Holocaust, incredible separations. So their lives and their stories live within us, and oftentimes they can also be repeated, particularly when a story is suppressed and not discussed. It still kind of expresses itself in someone's behaviors or even in the previous generations. So we are inseparable from our families and from the generations behind us. They lived within us. But the good thing is that we are privy to the collective consciousness. So right now you're hearing my voice, and maybe your mind is already drifting to, a certain relative, or kind of thinking about what I'm saying and how you might experience this in a few minutes. Now, we have all had experiences where we have connected with relatives who are deceased. So I am not a medium or anything like that. I facilitate this journey into the collective unconsciousness, where we have connections with universal wisdom, soulful perspectives, and as well as knowledge and guidance. So, we have people, if you think about how you have connected with, deceased family members in nature, maybe an unusual experience in dreams, or sometimes we just have a sense that they're present and there aren't words or there isn't language or anything that's obvious, but it's an internal sense. And that's basically what I'm talking about here. Today, I will guide you through an experience so that you can connect with someone who can offer you strength, love, courage, guidance, whatever it is that is presented to you. And I'll explain, how we're going to do that in a moment. So what you can do while I just talk for another couple of minutes is to just prepare yourself to get comfortable. Okay, so although their lives are over, whether they survived the crisis or the tragedy, or whether we knew them or not, we can discover and connect in with these parts of this, what I refer to as the soulful perspective, where if they have passed on, they have a different understanding of things that are happening down here on a physical level. At least that's been my experience, and the things that I have discussed with folks for many, many decades. So you may be already thinking about someone who went through a challenge, a struggle, or even a very difficult experience during their lives. I'm reminded of, of my father. I have a picture of him here. He was a World War II veteran, and he was the sole survivor of an ambush in southern Italy in World War II. And he survived 3 years in the hospital and countless surgeries because of severe facial wounds from shrapnel that hit him. So in an experience several years ago, he apologized to me for his behaviors and his PTSD that we grew up with. And because he said that he could see how it affected our lives. And he suggested to me to leave the anger with him. He said, leave my anger with me and carry forward what I wanted to teach you, but really couldn't get it across in a loving way. So as I thought about that, I realized, wow. So as I started to kind of pull apart my experience with him, one of the things that was so important to him was education. And everybody in my family, has done that in their own specific ways. And there were other things about being honest and having integrity that I, carry forward in my life as well. So what I learned from that many years ago is that, so we have this trauma, and typically in families, what we do, we focus on this difficulty, and we just have all of this pain and suffering that we can carry from this individual. But there's also this other side, where there's my dad's determination to survive, and whatever it was for your family members as well. So I get to choose. I get to choose to see both of these situations. And it's not a judgment about what happened and it shouldn't have happened and how wrong it was. I mean, we can all agree to that. But the experience and what the individual lived through is over and done with. And we can choose to carry forward how we can learn from it as a race. So carrying in our hearts this part of it, the goodness, the learning, the wisdom is really important. And so here's how we're going to have this experience. So what I want you to do is to just sit back comfortably. Now, obviously, I don't think anybody can drive and be on Facebook, but if you are, please turn this off, because I'm going to ask that you either close your eyes. They can also be open, but you want to be focused on something. Maybe you look down or at something in front of you, but you want to be as still as possible so that you can allow your mind to wander and to create the imagery that I am going to create, because I created an experience for you here. So this is like a daydreaming state. It's not a deep hypnotic state. So you will hear me talk to you, and you can open your eyes at any time. If you need to get up, if you want to walk away, you can certainly do that. So if you don't get a message, there's no worries. Just come back and jump ahead to this experience again. And because also sometimes things come to us later in a way, as I talked about earlier, there's just this sense of knowing that that was placed here, how things come together in the universe for us to kind of connect with our deceased family members. So you want to believe in this connection, because if you're here, you have probably already had the experience. So, so the messages don't come from me; they come from within you, and all you have to do is follow my instructions. Okay, so so why don't you go ahead and, kind of just sit back and get comfortable and just take a big breath and breathe in and out. And just notice, as the conversation that I shared with you a few moments ago, who comes to mind. And you can go back a couple of generations. It could be your parents, grandparents, an aunt or an uncle, or a great grandparents. And so right now, before we get started, I want you to begin with your focus on your heart. So it's as if you could breathe in and out of this area. If you want to place your hand there, you certainly can, just to give you a focus. So breathe in and out to the count of 4 or 5, maybe even 6. And just create a nice, even cycle of air going into the body and breath out. And just do that a couple of times. Just follow the breath, focus on your heart, and breathe. There's nothing that you have to do right now. There's nowhere to go. Just give yourself this time to reach down deep inside, where you can touch in with a collectiveness of intelligence and knowledge that we all have within us. One more breath in and out. Now I want you to imagine that you are on a walk. It could be in a park, in the woods, in a garden, maybe even in your backyard, or in the country of a relative. And as you walk, you feel the earth under your feet. You are tuning in to what's happening around you, nature, hearing sounds, maybe seeing wildlife, animals, birds. And as you look around, you feel nature, or you feel your surroundings in some way. And sometimes people say that they almost feel as if they are one, as they're breathing and walking on this path. And as you walk, you anticipate this connection with a family member, with someone that you already have in mind, or someone that you're just not sure who is going to appear for you. And you begin to think about the stories of the family and allow that person to come forward. You've heard the stories, or maybe it's a story that is difficult to talk about, but they still echo down through the generations. So as you walk, you sense that someone joins you. This relative, this individual who experienced a hardship, a struggle, a tragedy, some difficulty in their life, whether they survived through it or not. It's just that they did. And you feel their presence, because there's something that you realize about them. Maybe it's through the stories or an experience that you had. You might see their face and have a sense about them. Allow them to walk with you and to be present. And you might feel as if you want to just stop and face them and see them, to look into their eyes, into their face, because they are with you now and are always within you. Our ancestors are a part of us. They live within ourselves. And as you presence them, I want you to state the relationship that you have with them. For example, I'm going to tell you what to say, and then you kind of fill in the blanks. You are my father, my aunt, my grandmother, and I am your daughter, grandchild, niece. Say what's true. I knew you when I was young. And say something that you remember about them, or a story that you heard. Or you can say, I didn't get to know you. I heard of you through an experience that you had. I knew you for this specific time only. So identify the connection that you have with this individual. Now, explain in a few sentences what you are going through today in your life. Just keep it simple. You might reference the current situation or something more deeply personal. Tell them that you are here today for some guidance through words or a gift that they can offer you. Ask them for a few words that they can hold, that you can hold in your heart as you journey through this experience, to guide you through these dark times. You can also ask for a gift that you can hold within your heart along with those words. So place your hand again on your heart and breathe, and allow whatever comes forward, images, words, a sense, for you to just hold it here. When it feels hard for you, you can access this. So I'm going to stay quiet for a few seconds here so that you can hold your attention here on your heart and allow yourself to connect with what it is that this individual wants to share with you. Just continue to breathe. You may hear words, feel a sense. It may be a very subtle whisper or an image. Now, you can do this on your own at any time. When you receive the information, the gift, tell them thank you and continue to walk and breathe with them as this exchange becomes a part of you. Realize that it may not make sense right now, but as you allow the experience, it becomes more of who you are. When I did this with myself some time ago, my grandmother gave me a red rose, and she grew red roses in her yard. And she Well, to this day, I always buy roses for myself. And I've had clients gift them to me without them realizing, or my husband even doing so, not realizing the importance of them. So every time they come to me, it's as if it's a connection. It's a connection. It's a very deep, heartfelt connection with my grandmother. And her words to me were this: "Tutta passa, mantieni l'amore nel tuo cuore," which means in Sicilian, all things pass, keep love in your heart. So if any of you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me about your experience or note it in the posts. I look forward to speaking with you again here soon in the next couple of days, and I will keep in touch with what's happening on my end. And if there's anything I can do for you, just send me an email and I'll be happy to do it as a live. So as you are still sitting quietly, you may want to sit with this experience for a few more minutes, or you may already have what you need, because sometimes it comes quickly and sometimes it just takes a little bit time because maybe you're not used to tuning in. So thank you very much. I'm Sana Carpellotti, and I look forward to speaking with you and seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.